Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Touchline Podcast. You've joined us for episode 16, which is the PECA episode, Wellington Peckert episode. Also, Carlos, rest in peace, Salcedo, and Fabian Espindola. I think Brett has a bunch of other people who've also worn 16.
Kenny Duchar, Chris Lenkos, Willis Forco, and Matt. I don't remember how we decided to pronounce it. Beckney?
Yeah, Beckney.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Sure. Yeah.
I probably destroyed that name.
Well, hopefully he'll let us know how to say it properly on Twitter. So
he can always come on the podcast.
That's right. He can tell us how to say his name. Tell us how it was to play those few games in 2005.
Yes.
So I'm Rich, if you aren't familiar. And we got Brett here, who we've already heard from. Anyway, so this episode of the Touchline Podcast, we are going to briefly discuss the painful game, which was last week against New England. We'll touch on this Friday night's game against the Earthquakes of San Jose. And we'll also touch on the game next week against LA Galaxy, since it's on Wednesday. And I don't think we'll do another podcast before then. And finally, we'll hurry and touch on Champions League a little bit. We had a request to kind of touch on RSL's quest to win the Champions League since Montreal flamed out today. So,
Mr. Live.
That's right. We got to represent this season. So this last week we played against New England. It was sad, a little bit more severe and rough than we anticipated last week. We lost 4-0 to the Revs. Maybe that's slight payback for the few times we pummeled them 6-0.
Especially on fireworks games.
I know. I'm sad we aren't playing them on the 4th of July this year.
Yeah.
Or around 4th of July. But we'll have to start a new tradition with Orlando City. So, we played a reserve, I guess, or backup B team. I don't know what the right terminology is. We had a lot of starters out for international duty or injuries or suspensions. Needless to say, what?
I was going to say, I think the thing that I saw is we had 6 legit starters out due to either injury, suspensions, or international duty. And out of all the guys that were actually out, we needed one more, and we could have fielded a team.
Yeah, that's no good when your guys that can't play is, a full squad's worth. And it's also never good when you go to play a game and you can't fill your bench.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of the 7 subs that you're allowed to have on the bench, we only had 5.
Yeah.
So that's never a good sign. And I think it showed during the game. New England, they had pretty much their full complement of players. Their normal starters. Yeah, and they showed up and they played great. I mean, we'll tip our hat to them, and they didn't let us, I guess they didn't look down on us and kind of let us stay in the game too much. They still came out and pretty much punished the unfamiliarity and maybe a little slightly lower skill level of some of the people that we had brought in. So
yeah, bravo to New England. I mean, they didn't play down to their competition, and I know we all say that the West is a battleground, that when it's all said and done with, you're going to have 2 or 3 really good West teams that are out of the playoffs. And New England looks like that one team in the East that can actually contend with the Western teams. So good on them.
Yeah, that first goal that they had by Tierney, I mean, that was a good goal. And it was so funny to see Twitter, the other MLS players make fun of him on Twitter, congratulating his right foot for its first career goal and all of that. That made me laugh. But, I mean, it was a quality goal. The second goal, rebound was kind of unfortunate. And, once you get down a couple goals, whether we lost 1-0, 2-0, or 4-0, I don't know. It's about the same to me.
Yeah. I mean, I know there was a lot of hope and everything. I think a lot of people was hoping this game would turn out a lot better than it did, only because they went back to the diamond formation. But I think that was, in my eyes, the final nail in the coffin to the diamond formation. Because before it used to be doesn't matter who we plug into this spot, it's going to work. And now it doesn't work that way anymore. We don't have the type of players to be playing the diamond anymore.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering if, even though there are certain players, Beckerman could probably play it in his sleep. Savo similarly, but there are a lot of people playing who, haven't got a lot of first team minutes or a lot of games under their belt in the diamond per se. Sturzer or Phillips, Vasquez, some of those guys. Even having Mulholland and Gill, Gill playing up top and Mulholland with him. So even though we are familiar with the diamond, I kind of wonder, how much, if they're just as familiar with the new 4-3-3 as they were with the diamond in this case.
Yeah. So I ain't saying it's gone forever, but I don't think we see the diamond for a very long time.
On the On Frame episode this week, Trey was saying how he was laughing because there were people on Twitter who were saying, this game proves that, we shouldn't play the 4-3-3 anymore, not realizing that we were actually playing the diamond. They were asking for the diamond back, and that's what we were playing. So, the diamond doesn't solve everything. I mean, that's what we were used to, but I mean, it's not the cure-all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think, like I said, I think we're done with it. It's time to look to the 4-3-3. Everybody's learning it. Might as well just keep running with it.
Yeah.
I mean, on top of that, the best looking game we've ever had playing the 4-3-3 was against San Jose, and that's who we have this Friday.
Yeah. San Jose, that's what we need to cure all of our problems, right?
Yeah, I mean, last time we played them, we were tough defensively. If I remember right, we didn't allow Wando to have one shot, so you eliminate him from the game, you're able to look pretty good.
Yeah. One thing I was going to mention about the last thing from the New England game, I saw today Sturzer got retroactively suspended for the San Jose game, right?
Mm-hmm.
For his tackle on Aguadillo. So I think isn't that every single game that a player has been, like, I guess this was the first time it was RSL player, but hasn't every game a player in one of our games been retroactively suspended?
Something to that effect.
I mean, it's been kind of crazy.
I do not think we will ever be healthy or have all our players at this rate.
No, never. No. Okay, well, let's not talk about New England anymore. Let's look forward to the Earthquakes. They're coming into our place. We're going to be on Univision again. I think it's funny that all 3 times we play San Jose, we're on national TV, and we're not on national TV a single time we play LA or Seattle or Portland, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So why they kept scheduling us on national TV with San Jose, I don't know, but I mean, if you count Univision as national TV.
Yeah. Well, and I know that Real Salt Lake came out and said that a whole lot of the fan base here in Utah doesn't have that channel, so they're still going to broadcast it on their channels. So that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, it'll be nice to have, our own crew rather than having to mess with the SAP function and listening to their English broadcasters.
Yeah, we get to listen to some more Dunny.
Yeah, Dunny and David James. If you can't go, I'll be there. I guess you can let me know how it goes on TV.
Yes, that I will. Just watch the Twitter feed.
That's right. If the internet will work at the stadium. So I mean, so we played them pretty recently. I mean, I don't know how much we have to talk about them necessarily. I mean, we can. Let's see who they played. So after they played us, they played.
They beat Vancouver and they
Vancouver lost to New York. So, and that they beat Vancouver at home and then lost to New York on the road.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're playing us. They've actually been off for what, 2 weeks? Their last game was on the 17th against New York. So for whatever reason, Chicago also had this where they were off for like 3 weeks. They've had a lot of crazy bye weeks so far in the early part of the season with different teams.
That's just FIFA's love affair with, MLS's love affair with FIFA. They love each other.
I guess.
Yeah.
So
if you look at the result map, Montreal has only played 4 games this year.
Yeah. Their schedule's going to get crowded at some point. Yeah,
they're going to get murdered late in the season. I can just tell.
And it's going to be like they're going to have like 5 games in hand until October or something. It's like, oh, Montreal's in last place, but they have 5 games in hand.
Yeah, I was looking ahead. They got a game June 20th, June 24th, June 27th.
Oh, yuck.
Montreal.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. And that's during, I don't know if they'll have anybody away for the Gold Cup or anything, but that would be during that time, I think.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and that's also the same time frame that I believe the U20 World Cup's going on.
Isn't that, I think the U23s are doing they got a tournament or something during that time too, weren't they saying today that it's in June sometime? I don't know if it's at the end of June or not. But Gil will be gone for that.
We will never be healthy or have all our players.
All of our players.
Never.
Yeah,
I ain't going anymore.
Yeah, I agree.
When you're talented.
Yeah, when you got a bunch of players on all the different national team levels, that's kind of the way it goes.
Yeah.
So, I would expect RSL to come out energized and angry, wanting to make up for the performance against New England and, San Jose possibly could be a little rusty, or they might take a little while to get into the game because they haven't played for a while.
Yep. Not only that, from the sounds of it, we'll have Nick Raimondo, Jamison Olave, Jordan Allen, Justin Glad, Sebastian Saucedo, and Boyd Okwanu ready to go. And then Sebastian Jaime can return if he wants to play through the pain. And Morales has been training, and he hasn't been ruled out either. So
we'll be close. We'll be close to healthy, I guess.
And I know me and you both love Justin Glad, but tonight he didn't get a start for the Real Monarchs. So I'm wondering if they got plans for him for this weekend.
Oh, man. I wonder.
We love Glad.
We do love Glad. Yeah. Did he play at all? I didn't see him on Twitter come in as a sub.
I did not see him come in as a sub. I don't even think he was part of the subs.
Oh, on the bench even. Yeah, I don't remember seeing his name now that you say that.
I'm taking a look right now.
I didn't get a chance to go to the game or watch it.
Glad was not even on the bench.
I wonder what's going on. Hopefully he's not hurt.
I wonder if we get a Glad start.
Now, where would he start? Olave, Vasquez, Mond. I don't know.
Somewhere on that back line.
See, I would have thought even if they would have had him on the bench, they would have had him play tonight.
Yeah, no, he's set up, man. He's coming with us. He's coming to the promised land.
The promised land. We'll see. I guess. I mean, you saw Sturzer. He got to play a little bit since he can't play on Friday, so that was cool.
Yeah, that's kind of cool that they don't carry the red cards into the USL.
Yeah,
you can at least go down there and play.
Yeah, it'll allow people to still get some playing time when they do stupid stuff in MLS.
Yeah, but yeah, San Jose.
Yeah. I don't really have much to say about San Jose, since we just played them, other than, we just got to keep Wando, from taking shots and getting in the box. Hopefully they play him again in a kind of a midfield role, because I think that's stupid of them and limits his effectiveness. So I hope they continue to do that.
Yeah. And, looking here at, San Jose, we've kind of gone over them before. So I think we more or less need to look towards LA. We know what we're going to see from San Jose. And LA, I think we might be able to catch them flat-footed. Saturday, they play home against Colorado and then have to travel to us. So it's not like they're playing 2 back-to-back games at altitude.
Right. Colorado, they've been playing a little better. They got a draw today in New York. So that was good on them. I turned on that game right before the Champions League game started tonight. I turned it on, watched it for like 5 minutes, and saw both goals of the game during the game. So that was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
I was like, when you turn on a soccer game, see the goals and turn it off, and that was the only scoring. So
nice.
Yeah. LA, they've been having a little bit of struggles at the beginning of the season, trying to figure out how to play without Donovan, and Keane's been out a bit too. Zardes has been taking on a bigger role. They had that academy kid. What was his name? He got a goal of the week nominee this week. It's Jameson, Bradford Jameson the fourth.
That is an awesome name.
And it drives me crazy because when I watch him play, him and Zardes they look the exact same from the TV. They both have the bleached hair, and I guess maybe I haven't watched them enough to tell them apart. But when they're both running around, I'm like, I don't know which one's which.
Yeah.
So think of him just as a Gyasi Zardes clone.
Yeah. Well, and they only run a 4-4-2. Looking over it, it's nice to see that they still go with the philosophy of they're going to put their best 11 guys on, even if they don't know how to really play that spot. They're just going to put the best 11, as you can tell with Robbie Rogers still starting and trying to learn how to be a defender. So
yeah, in his defense, I think he's done pretty well.
No, he's come around and he's starting to play really well at it. But I can't really bag on him for doing that and trying to teach a midfielder how to be a defender, because we did it with Mansally.
Yeah.
So,
they lost Sarvis to Colorado
in
the offseason, and I think that's really hurt them. Juninho and Sarvis, they played really well together. And for the most part, I think they've had Husidic play kind of in that role. I think they've lost a lot between, Donovan obviously leaving is a big deal, but then also losing that chemistry with Juninho and Sarvis. I think that hurt them a lot as well.
Yeah. They have Robbie Keane. They have, right? They still have Robbie.
Yeah.
And,
has he been hurt lately? Because seems like I haven't seen him in a lot of the games. I'm going to see if I can find that out.
Yeah, he's been hurt, according to the LA Galaxy's official MLS website.
Does it say with what?
Groin strain. The last 3 games.
Gotta hate that. You gotta hate hurting your groin.
But later this year they got Steven Gerrard coming over.
Yeah.
And so you my guess is this is a great time to be catching LA before Gerrard gets here, because if you want to play them, you want to play him before Gerrard gets here, or you want to play him as soon as he gets here before he gets into their system and figures out what's going on.
Yeah.
But as soon as they get clicking, it's going to be ugly. they could actually be a real dominant team that pushes, a Seattle or a New England to the point.
Yeah, I mean, you would expect LA to kind of do what they always do, where they kind of start off a little bit slow and, slowly. I mean, they're kind of like the Spurs in a way where, a lot of times that regular season is a little bit slowish, and then they just kind of rev up as the season goes along until, you get to the playoffs where they're starting to really click. So,
yeah,
I'm all for playing them earlier in the season. Yeah, the injury report that came out today said that Keene didn't practice today and doesn't look like he'll play against Colorado, but he will continue to be evaluated.
Yeah.
So hopefully we don't see him.
But yeah, like I said, this perfect time to want to play them. With this team anymore, our team's never healthy, so I don't know what to expect from us anymore. And so
inconsistency, I think, is what we should expect.
Yeah.
I think we should be excited to see, like they've never played together at all for half, and like they're Barcelona for the other half.
That's what I hope for.
But makes it exciting that way. You never know what to expect.
Yeah. But it's gonna be a nice test for us the next couple weeks. So hopefully we're able to come away with some points. We need some points.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, in these two games at home, we aren't, according to the players in Qassar, we got our one loss out of the way. So, let's hope for 6 points over these next two games.
Yeah, I mean, after the LA game, we only have one more home game in the month of May, and that's with New York City FC. So these two home games are huge for us. We need to get points off of them.
Yeah.
Especially if we're going to travel to, Montreal, LA, and Vancouver.
Yeah, and then we start losing guys for international duty. So.
But hey, the good thing I've been hearing though is at the end of May we should have Plata and Schuler back.
Yeah, everyone was excited on Twitter today because Plata showed up at practice and ran around a little bit, not to practice, just jogging around. So they said he still got probably 3 or 4 weeks before he can be full training, but that's it's good to see he's at least progressing, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm kind of curious about if he's on the same time frame that Sabo was on, and I believe there was one other player that had this injury, but I don't remember who. But I know Sabo was one.
I think Winger broke his foot, but I don't know if it was the same bone or not.
Yeah.
So I guess what are your predictions on the 2 games then?
We're gonna win them all. That's my guess. I'm guessing another 1-0 win against San Jose, and then like a 2-1, 3-1 against LA.
Ooh. I'm gonna go. So I think we just are gonna come out really motivated against San Jose. We'll get a lot of our players back. They're gonna, want to show that last week was just ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm gonna go with 2-0 against San Jose. And I think I'll say it'll be a 1-1 draw against LA.
Hey, points are fine.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have a hard time breaking down LA's defense. They have Gonzalez and Pinedo and all those guys back there, De La Garza, and where we've had a hard time struggling anyway, or a hard time scoring anyway. I think it will be a little bit rough against LA, but hopefully I'm wrong.
Yeah.
So, should we talk quickly about Champions League?
Yeah, let's break it down.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say we had somebody ask on Twitter, Joshua Johnson at JS Johnson 78 ask us about when does RSL's Champions League run start and stuff like that. And to answer that question kind of much is we really don't know. We kind of still have to wait for teams to qualify, but usually it starts early August is when the first games are played.
Yeah, so you got about half of the teams already determined right now, but we still have to wait for everybody else's spring, I guess, seasons to end to determine the other winners. And they'll do the draw for the different groups. They'll do that in June. So the way they work is they break all the teams into 3 pots. They have 2 Mexican teams, 2 American teams, and then the winners of 4 of the Central American teams. They're in pot A, and then there's another group in pot B, and then a group in pot C. And RSL is in pot B, so they're in the second tier, and they go and they draw 1 team from each group, one team from each pot to put them in a group, and those are the teams that we will be playing this fall.
Yeah, and looking through this real quick, just taking a look, by the end of May, you should know most of your teams. I mean, as it sits right now, about May 10th, you'll know the 2 Mexican teams, and most of the other teams are getting their stuff finished up by the end of May. So by the end of May, you'll know what's it looking like. And then early June, they'll do the draw. And then August is when games start. Which, look, kind of side note, one of the teams that could take the last 2 Mexico spots is Chivas. And that's where we sent Carlos Salcedo. So there is a chance that Carlos may return to the Riot, which would be awesome.
Yes, people will shower him with flowers and, rainbows and unicorns. Yep, I'm sure that's exactly how it'll go.
I still really like the kid. I think that's more his dad that kind of screwed that up for him than anything.
His dad does seem like a tool.
Your words, not mine.
Those were the nice ones.
But I'm not disagreeing.
No, I mean, Carlos, he's a good player. So far, with the way Vasquez has played, I don't think that we're any worse off than we were before. Carlos.
I think Dunny said it best when Vasquez is the year older, the year mature, the year more evolved player of Carlos.
Yeah.
It's the exact same style of player, exact same body and everything, just 1 year older, 1 year more mature. All we did is really got rid of that 1 year.
Right. Yeah, we just flash forwarded him a year.
And got an international player for Guatemala.
Yeah.
So.
It was interesting. I heard that, I can't remember who was reporting it, but they were saying that the Chivas and their fans and stuff, they really are liking Carlos's play down there because he has the technical ball skill that most of the Mexican players have, with him, I think both growing up in the Mexican academy system and then, coming to play in RSL's academy, and for RSL, he continued to develop those skills. But then he also has kind of the physicality that they think MLS has.
Yep.
And so they've enjoyed his bite, I guess you could say. And I think that's a little bit funny because, I always thought that Carlos didn't quite probably have as much bite as most defenders in the league. So, for whatever that means, but they seem to be really enjoying, him down there, and, he's been getting called up to the full national team with Mexico. So good for him.
Yep. And he was actually in the 3-0 U23s national team win over Mexico, so he's getting some positive looks everywhere.
Yeah.
And good on him. We made him who he was.
He'd be nothing without us.
Yep. Don't you forget it, Mexico.
Yep. If only he didn't have a dad holding him back.
Yeah.
So sad. But back to the CONCACAF. So, the 4 teams from MLS who are in it this season, this next time, are going to be the Galaxy, the Sounders, RSL, DC United, and then Vancouver qualified as Canada's representative for winning their Canadian Cup.
The best Canadian team was Vancouver.
That's right. Which, that's how Montreal got into it this season, and they made it all the way to the final. So, Vancouver, they're in it just like RSL is. Vancouver is also in Pot B with us, so they won't be in our group. But, we could possibly meet them in the knockout rounds.
And they'll design that to where we won't ever meet up with an LA or a Seattle until we hit knockout stages.
Yes. The way that it happened last year was, so the 2 MLS teams in Pot A, in this case Galaxy and Seattle, they can't meet with another US team in the group stages. So DC United and RSL won't be in the same group as Galaxy and Seattle. However, Galaxy or the Sounders could be in the same group as Vancouver. Last season, the Red Bulls, they were in the same group as Montreal. So because Vancouver is the Canadian representative, they don't get the same rules, I guess.
Yeah.
At least that's how it was last season. CONCACAF is CONCACAF, and they reserve the right to change the rules however the crap they want. So
FIFA.
Or FIFA, and any of the soccer, or MLS for that matter.
Just anything soccer related.
Yeah, soccer related, the rules are only the rules until they're not the rules.
Yeah. So, yeah, it'll be good for us to be back in there. I mean, if you look at who MLS is sending in there, even if as the Canadian side, you got an LA, Seattle, DC, and Vancouver, who are probably 4 of the top 5 best teams right now. And RSL, I mean, yeah, we're going through a little stretch, but by the time we start playing in August, we'll be full force again. And I think what you saw from Vancouver this year, Montreal this year, you might see it again next year. Well, later this year into next year from an MLS side, where I think one of them's going far. It's just who.
Yeah, last season, there were a couple of the teams that didn't really, make it out of the group stage, if I recall. And, I think this season, so Sporting didn't make it out of the group stage. The Red Bulls didn't, obviously, because Montreal made it out, so that kind of doesn't count. The Timbers didn't make it out of their group stage. So that was, I guess, 3 of the 4 MLS representatives didn't make it out, and then Montreal did, they're from MLS. But I guess if at least 4 of the 5 MLS teams don't make it out of the group stage, I think that'll be a disappointment, just based on how good the teams are, that are going to be going in. I guess we'll have to see what the draws are. If RSL is matched up with, America or Chivas or something like that, obviously it's going to be a little bit harder to get out of the group stage. But if our Pot A team that we're facing is Olympia or Herediano or something like that, there's no reason why we can't get up.
Yeah.
Do you concur?
I totally agree. It's all about matchups. So.
Now for something less obvious. Just kidding. So I'm excited for the Champions League. I really wish they would make it so it was a summer-fall tournament instead of a fall-summer, because we play the group stage in the fall, and then the eliminations are in the next spring after you've had an off season and you haven't even started the MLS league yet. It doesn't it doesn't make any sense if you do it spring, fall. I don't think that punishes any of the other Central American teams because they're playing anyway in both cases. So
yeah.
Hopefully, they'll get their act together. And that way, you would go right from in the fall, finishing up your final to then going to the Club World Cup with the exact same players, rather than in this case, who you qualify with, or get out of the group with may be totally different than your knockout round. And then by the time you get to the following December, I mean, your team could have totally fallen apart.
Yeah.
So we'll see how Club America does this winter going to the Club World Cup now that they've won. So far the best finish that CONCACAF team has been third place. No one's made it to the final yet. It's always been a Europa team and a South American team in the final.
Well, dream's still alive for us.
That's right. We got to be the first ones.
Yep. But all right, man.
So anything else you want to?
No, I think I gave shout outs to everything I wanted, including the 3-0 win over Mexico.
Yeah, Tres a 0 is the new 2-0.
Yep. As I believe Louis Skill tweeted that out.
That's right. Let's start making that a thing. I'm all for that.
I'm down for it too.
Yeah. Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed the PECA podcast today. And we appreciate you guys listening. If you guys have any questions or you want to get at us, you can get to us on Twitter. You can leave comments on the website. You can get me, I'm Rich. You can get me at Frisbee_Rich on Twitter.
And I'm at A24Brett or at Touchline_TBS with that brand new logo.
Yeah, let us know if you like it or if you hate it.
If you hate it, I will delete your comment and block you because I think it is awesome.
It is awesome. Great job. Good design.
Shout out to Doll.
There you go. So yeah, and if you guys have any questions, please feel free to get at us. We'd love to hear from you. Otherwise, we will talk to you next time. Peace out.
See you guys.